First of all, let's talk a little bit about Christmas sweaters. Everybody's got a favorite Christmas sweater. Well, and if you don't have one yourself, you can certainly admire the Christmas sweaters that you see. They're getting worse and worse. Recently, Walmart actually had to apologize for a line of what is described here as R-rated Christmas sweaters, one including Santa snorting a line of cocaine. The Christmas sweater said, hang on a second, I've got the photo right here. Let it snow. And a line of cocaine where Santa's, anyway, pretty ridiculous. But would you believe that Christmas sweaters are contributing to climate change? Listen to this. Christmas sweaters are adding to plastic pollution, environmental charity says. This is a CNN video. I bet a lot of you didn't know this, but the environmental left, the radical environmental left, they're coming after your Christmas sweaters. Here to talk more about that, we have geologist and author of Inconvenient Facts, the Science Al Gore Doesn't Want You to Know. Gregory Wrightstone's back with us. Gregory, how are you this morning?
Oh, really, really good. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but Mrs. Claus got Santa a copy of my book last year, and he had gone off the grid and was trying to power up the North Pole with the wind energy. He actually had to read my book by using Rudolph's red nose. And he learned from my book, though, that Earth is actually thriving and benefiting, and he's back on the grid now. They have electricity 24 hours a day, and he's ready to deliver those books to your listeners for this Christmas.
I think that's excellent. I mean, that Santa came to his senses. He bought into the radical left for a little while, but then he realized, I need electricity. That's
right.
So did you see this story about Christmas sweaters, though?
I did not. I was just, and when you were I was Googling it. I didn't quite get it all in there. I'm gonna, because I have a list for my next book. I'm making a list of all these just ridiculous predictions that they've got. There's one of that we'll see increasing toenail fungus because of climate change. They get more ridiculous by the day, and wow. They use anything that's unusual or anything they could just, let's throw this up against the wall and see what sticks. I think people are catching on to it.
I do too, and I always take their claims and I work them backwards. So if climate change is going to increase toenail fungus, as you said, then stopping climate change will reduce toenail fungus. And if you phrase it that way, then you start to be like, you're kind of claiming magical powers at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right.
But anyway, the Christmas sweater thing. Let me read this. Most Christmas sweaters are made of plastic and are likely to contribute to plastic pollution in the world's oceans. An environmental charity has warned. Hubbub, a UK charity, found that 95% of the 108 sweaters it analyzed, taken from 11 high street and online retailers, were fully or partially made from plastic materials. Acrylic was the most common plastic. And what they're claiming is, Gregory, is that as you wash your sweater, okay, the plastic is going to seep into the water, and then that drains in the ocean, and now we've polluted our oceans with plastic because of Christmas sweaters.
Oh, well, sure. But it's okay for Greta to take a plastic boat, which is what she used, to sail back and forth from the old world to the new world. That's okay because she's woke and she's got she's got the right ideas. Mm-hmm. But we can't wear our Christmas sweaters. Yeah, no, thank you.
They're now calling this fast fashion. I had not heard this until I read this article. So it's a new threat. It's called fast fashion. Is a major threat to the natural world, and Christmas jumpers, I guess jumpers like onesies, are particularly problematic as so many contain plastic. So it just never stops. It seems
Paul,
like, go ahead.
I think there was a misspelling there. It should have been fast fascism, not fashion, because that's what this is. It's fascism they're trying to impose on us.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly right. I can appreciate that pun. It seems like, though, there's nothing that's that they don't think is within their grasp to dictate to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally are reaching, like you said, toenail fungus, now fast fashion, because fast fashion is what? Well, it's a lot more, it's broader than Christmas sweaters. You can take this in anybody that creates a new style, if it's got plastic in it, maybe we just need to, we need to use hand-me-downs, and we don't ever need to buy anything new. I feel like that's what they would want us to do.
Well, or maybe we need to use wool. Oh, no, we can't use wool because those the sheep that they're using those are enslaved animals, and that's just not acceptable either, right?
Right.
I mean, that's what they would say.
I can't operate. I can't exist in the world that they're trying to, trying to build, Gregory. And I hope that most people get that. Like, if you try to take their conclusions and, to their logical end, we won't be able to do anything. There'll be no freedom. Yeah,
well, they just got hit. They got a 2x4 up the side of the head here this last week over in Madrid, Spain, at the climate conference that Greta Thunberg finally showed up to. And what they're realizing is that no matter what, everything that they're doing is for naught. And Greta Thunberg actually said that they're making no difference because China is thumbing their nose at the Paris Climate Accord in the Western world. Their lips are moving, and they keep promising carbon dioxide reductions and reduction of the use of coal. While they're speaking, on the other hand, they're just redlighting increased coal production and coal-fired electricity production. And to give you an example, the non-Chinese countries reduced their electricity generation capacity by coal by 8 gigawatts in the last year and a half. Now remember, everybody else reduced it by 8. China, in that same time period, increased it by 43. 43. So what they've done is taken, what is that, 5 times as much, 5+ times as much China's increased compared to what the Western world has reduced its coal-fired electricity. So what the whole goal of Al Gore and the climate alarmists, what I call the Ayatollahs of alarmism, their goal is to reduce fossil fuels because those create carbon dioxide emissions, CO2. But yet China just is going full speed ahead, and there's no effect. Anything that we can do, and I believe that CO2 does have a warming effect. I think it's overwhelmed by the natural forces. But any reduction in CO2 is just the world increased it by 4% of CO2. It keeps increasing every year, and I'm not opposed to that. I just got back from the gym. I wore my I Heart CO2 T-shirt to the gym this morning.
Uh-oh.
And I've got a big I Heart CO2, I Love CO2 bumper sticker in the back of my truck. And I haven't been keyed yet, but
oh my gosh,
that's probably going to be coming. So so what they're doing is there's everything that has been done to restrict our freedoms, to increase taxation, to increase regulations. All of those things have been, it's for naught. It has absolutely no effect on temperature, but it provides this. They're striving for this. It provides the moral justification for ever higher taxation, ever tighter regulation, ever greater state interference, ever larger funds to the governments and politicians, and it continues to diminish our individual freedoms and our freedom to use the energy we want.
Yeah.
The reliable, abundant, affordable energy that comes from fossil fuels.
So I've got your app open. We're talking with Gregory Wrightstone. He's a geologist, author of the book Inconvenient Facts, the Science Al Gore Doesn't Want You to Know. Now, folks, it makes a great Christmas present, but you can get the app right now. Just download it on your iPhone or your Android device. I've got the app open, and I'm looking at Inconvenient Fact number 37. The Earth is becoming greener, not turning into a desert. And you've got this graph here, and it looks lovely. I mean, it looks like we're lush and we're a productive planet because we're green.
Well, we are. And I like to say it's the biggest untold story of the late 20th and early 21st century, and that's the greening of the Earth. The Earth is thriving and prospering, and humanity is benefiting because of modest temperature rise, and it is modest, and increasing CO2. It's according to NASA, in the chart you're looking at there, it's a map of the Earth showing in green the areas where vegetation has increased, and you're looking at it. Your listeners aren't, but the Earth is covered in this green where it's prospering. According to NASA, up to 50% of the Earth is what they call greening. In other words, vegetation is increasing. And here's the key: less than 4% of the Earth is what they call browning, or a loss of vegetation. I'll take that trade-off any day of the week. And, with 50% is thriving and prospering, and less than 4% is going the other way. And we're seeing that in some of the most arid parts of the world. Probably the best example is the Sahel in the southern Sahara. 300,000 square kilometers of the Sahel are turning into a lush grassland. Former desert areas where no one's lived in many hundreds, probably maybe 1,000 years, probably dating back to the medieval warm period, the last time temperatures rose to near levels like this. And we see it in China, India, Australia. The Earth is it's a completely different story from what we're being told. We're being told that the Earth's turning into vast deserts that will be consumed by wildfires and droughts, and just the opposite is occurring.
Entire
just crazy.
Ecosystems are dying. Yeah, that is what we're being told. Then you got, coming along with your app, inconvenient fact number 42, cold kills far more people than heat every year.
Yeah, there's, again, completely opposite of what we're being told. The largest study of its kind was done by Dr. Antonio Gasparini and a team of physicians all over the world that looked at temperature-related deaths. According to this study, they looked at 74 million temperature-related deaths and found that 20 times as many people die due to cold as due to heat. Another similar study was done in the United Kingdom and Australia, those two nation-states, and what they found, it was 15 times as many people. So whether it's 15 or 20, it's a huge multiples of people die due to cold-related deaths as due to heat. Again, what have I said before? Just opposite of what we're being told. And I say that a lot because that's what the science, the facts, and the data tell us. They're telling us what we're doing is these ayatollahs of alarmism are using predictions or speculation of what might occur 50 or 80 years in the future based on failed climate models. And what I do is, in my book and the app, we're looking at what's actually happening today, not, oh, well, this might happen in 80 years. Yeah, probably not. But, let's show me something that's going really, really badly. Because just about by every metric we look at, we can find that the Earth's ecosystems are thriving and humanity's benefiting.
What you just said there, the opposite of what we're being told, that is true, I think, of obviously the climate change discussion, and I think it's true of almost every other political issue in the country today. So often you can believe the opposite of what the mainstream media is telling you, and you will be correct. Now, not always, and that's scary, though, because that means that, you don't want, I wouldn't want to get in that habit, but I mean, it's hard not to. It's scary, though, because then if something really does happen, it's like the boy that cried wolf, and nobody's going to believe him. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're seeing a big uptick in sales for Christmas now. Lots of people. I just got an email from on our website here that I need 10 books. I want them signed. And I said, okay. So I've been shipping out, both from our website and from me personally, just 10 here, 15 there. People want to give this to their people that believe and have bought in and have drunk the Kool-Aid on climate change. So it makes a great Christmas gift. So it's Inconvenient Facts.
Inconvenient Facts. We appreciate it. The author, again, Gregory Wrightstone. Gregory, it's always great to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you.
All righty.